I can't begin to imagine how they would even conceive an idea that building a mosque there, which is an exclusive place of prayer for Muslims, would in any way build tolerance and respect.
Yeah. If she wants to build a mosque at Ground Zero, I'm in. In fact, I have my wallet on me and a credit card. I'll go ahead and make a donation. You see, there are moderate Muslims. She's obviously one of them. She realizes building a mosque next to Ground Zero, having Rauf headed up, yeah, there he is. Bad idea for Muslims. This doesn't help any way, shape, or form. Common sense tells you this doesn't work. And if anyone in this country was still applying common sense, well, you'd know that. And I'll show you how they'd proceed with the Ground Zero Mosque next. What do you say we just try a little common sense? Just from time to time, when we're talking about the Ground Zero Mosque, let's try it on. Put the thinking cap on. A little later, I'm going to share an idea one of my Fox colleagues has. I'm not sure if he's serious or not. Stick around. You don't want to miss that. But first, here are the things that common sense tells us that we should do. 1, put a hold on the construction planning on this. Stop until a full vetting is completed. Find out a little bit more about Rauf and his involvement with the flotilla. Look, if it's being built by the woman on O'Reilly show, great, build it. This guy doesn't pass the smell test. Something's not right. Find out why it's going to be next to Ground Zero, because I bet these two are related. Find out why they wanted to open it on 9/11. They've since emailed us and said, well, that's not going to happen. Was it going to? Because that was never a good idea. 4, stop with the government Muslim outreach programs. Okay? I'm tired of it. I don't care what the rest of the world. I don't really care. I don't care. Gonna send people over there. We're gonna have NASA go over to Muslim nations and tell them how smart they used to be. What is that? 5, acknowledge that terror actually exists. Oh yeah, it exists. It exists in many different forms. That's terror. There are environmental terrorists like ELF and ALF. There are economic terrorists. Yeah. Somebody that would force you to do something you didn't want to do by scaring you. Like Congress. Like Congress when they pull people up. You remember Maxine Waters when she said, I'll tell you what this liberal's going to do. This liberal's going to take your country. Remember that? That's kind of an economic terrorist right there. You see, terrorism, in its broadest form, is just designed to scare you into changing your way of life. Because they know, well, for instance, Maxine Waters knows, you can't defeat the free market system. So you have to scare it. Yeah, control it. You can't defeat things. You can't defeat America militarily. So you have to change its behavior. We learned after 9/11 the best way to defeat terrorism, and that is, don't be afraid. Don't really care. The Times Square bomber, that's just down the street from here. Are New Yorkers concerned about that? Yeah. Are New Yorkers changing the way they're living? Nope. Be easy to blow something up here. It would be. But any terrorist that comes here, or I think any place in the country, ought to know one thing. You're blowing yourselves up for nothing. You're not going to get the virgins, okay? And you're also not going to change us. You probably heard the phrase, don't give up the ship. Do you know where it's from? So when we were still fighting the British in the War of 1812, American naval officer James Lawrence, he was facing the British. I mean, they didn't suck on the seas. Well, he had a crew that was less, that he had, only trained for about 2 weeks. And the British ship had been together for 7 years. That's kind of an important thing. They were losing their butt. And Captain Lawrence gave his last command. He's there he looked a little like David Buckner laying here on the floor going, and he gave his last command, and it was, don't give up the ship, fight until she sinks. It took less than an hour for the British ship to sink that ship and win the battle. Lawrence died. But when Officer Oliver Hazard Perry heard the news, he ordered something to be made. And here it is. And if I can get it down, there it is. It's a flag. Don't give up the ship. They flew it for a while. Flag was displayed on the flagship during the engagement against the British later that year. Oh, and they won that one. So what can we take from this? Don't give up the ship. You might lose the ship. You might lose a battle here or there. You might not. But you better keep standing. Unless you stand up and vow not to lose the ship. Even if you lose the battle. Remember what the phrase means. A year later, they went on and won the war. You know what's really interesting? This whole battle that we're having right now, been fought before, this whole battle, we know how it's going to end. We've already won. We're just choosing sides now. Refuse to give up the ship. Talked about a mosque being built near the World Trade Center. There is another building that has been proposed to be built next to the World Trade Center site. This establishment, like the World Trade Center Mosque, also claims to promote integration, tolerance, community cohesion. Here to explain is Greg Gutfeld, the host of the show Red Eye on the Fox News channel, When Your Eyes Would Be Red, and the author of The Bible of Unspeakable Truths, which you have to read. It's laugh out loud funny. Okay, so, Greg.
Yes.
Give me your proposal.
Well, you know, I was thinking, I went onto their website, the Cordoba House website. It's a lovely website, and they talk about preaching tolerance and communication. And I thought, how interesting is it that they're preaching tolerance and communication to Americans? I thought, wouldn't it be great to test their tolerance? So I figured, let's open an Islam-friendly gay bar next door to the mosque. That's my proposal. And I'm sticking by it. Now, I'm not a good businessman, and I'm a terrible activist. Yeah. But this might be the greatest idea I've ever had.
But you are very, very funny.
Yeah.
So are you...
Am I joking?
I mean, yeah, what I'm saying is... Well, give me some of the names of the...
Well, I like Jihad.
Jihad?
Or G-Hunk. How about Infidelicious? Or Turban Cowboy? Do you like Turban Cowboy?
My favorite?
What?
Suspicious Packages.
Yes, that's a nice one. Yes. Ramadan? There are other ones that I don't think I should mention.
You Mecca me hot?
Yes.
That's really... So now what would the idea again is you go into Suspicious Packages.
Yes.
Which is just... It's a gay bar.
Yes. Yes, it is. Next to a mosque.
Next to the World Trade Center mosque.
Exactly, and there'll be no alcohol there, Glenn, so you can come.
Okay, really?
Because Muslims don't drink alcohol.
Yeah, neither do I.
The bar will have 72 virgin drinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this is to teach what exactly? Tolerance.
Tolerance and communication. Right. You know, the way that New York is going to accept the mosque should accept the gay bar. Do you see that? The correlation?
Now, as someone who wouldn't want this gay bar built next to my church or, you know, a temple of mine, do you think it might be a little over the top?
I think it has to be done, Glenn. It has to be done.
Really?
And if I'm not the person to do it, somebody must do it.
Somebody must do it.
But I have a lot of people that are interested in backing me for this, and I'm telling you, this is the greatest thing ever. Because right now, you know, I contacted the Cordoba House. I wrote them, I emailed them, they didn't respond. But I tweeted them, and they tweeted me back.
Oh, what did they say?
They said, "You're free to open whatever you like. If you won't consider the sensibilities of Muslims, you're not going to build dialogue."
Oh.
Yeah. I love to build dialogue.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Especially you could do that at Grind Zeros.
Yeah, exactly.
Check out Greg Gutfeld's show, Red Eye, on the Fox News channel. You're not serious.
I'm deadly serious, Glenn.
The Fox News channel airs weekdays at 3 a.m. Eastern for a reason.
Oh, terrible.
828 in Washington, at the steps and the feet of Abraham Lincoln. Grab your family. Leave your signs at home. You grab your family and you join me there. From New York, good night, America.